Hi guys, my name is Jodie. I am a Pathway member. I became a Pathway member in January 2020, so still a little bit new, but have a pretty transformational story. So I was a little bit tentative to become a Pathway member because I have actually manifested quite a few things in my life. The past 2 years has been a lot of uncovering my shadows and working with my inner child. So I'd actually kind of been doing her work before even realizing it. And I was a little tentative because I just knew the potential that I had. And that's scary. That's a scary thing, to just dive fully in. But I also knew I really wanted to be in my full authentic worth and power. And so I just dove in and I got it. And the first workshop I did was Up Level. And so it was really interesting to actually find out my authentic code, to do the work around that and figure out those 4 pillars. And I actually have it as the background of my phone, just as a little bit of a reminder every single time. And so if you're a member, it's a fun thing to do, and you just have that reminder because we check our phones quite often. And so after that, I had wrote out what I was calling in and the deservingness around it all. And one of those things was a studio. I live in California, and I wanted a studio that was walking or skating distance to the beach, that was had a small but usable kitchen, that had a parking spot, and that had a front yard or a patio. And so that's quite hard to come by in California. And fast forward to maybe a month later, actually on Valentine's Day, my gut just told me to check my phone. And so I went on my phone, I went on Google, and I saw some listings I had seen before, and then I saw a new one, and it was everything that I had on my list. And so I called, she called me back, and she was like, that listing went up 5 minutes ago, you were the first person that called. And I was like, oh my God. So I went and I looked at it like an hour later, and it was everything on my list to a T. And so I called her back, and she really liked me, and we just got along really well. And she was like, all right, I'm not gonna answer any other calls. I'll send you over the application. And then the craziest thing was I went to a cafe that I always go to work to meet my coworker. And I started telling her the story, and there's 2 girls across the table from me, and all I hear is, Unblocked Love is doing really well. And I looked at them and I was like, do you guys work for To Be Magnetic? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And I told them the story that had just happened, and I was just like, what is the synchronicity of this? And they weren't surprised. And honestly, yes, I was shocked, but I also wasn't surprised because I've done so much work in uncovering my shadows and unblocking my shadows and just really figuring out who I am and in my authentic worth and power. And so, having this come through for me, I really felt deserving of it. And that was a really impactful thing for me to feel and to experience. And that's really why I wanted to share it, is because, doing the work, uncovering these shadows, it's not rainbows and butterflies, things come up, but if you choose to work through them instead of numb them with something else, you really, really start to see who you are as a human being. And Lacey, your work has changed my life. And, I now live in this amazing bungalow where I have the opportunity to be in my own creative space and really up level in all aspects of my life. And so I just wanted to share this. I really hope that it resonates with someone, maybe inspires someone to do the work, because it's really amazing. And if anything that you get from it, you really figure out who you are. But the sky's the limit. And if there's anything I can say, is that it works. So thank you so much. Bye.